Welcome, dear viewers, to the video on the topic why dissolution testing run time is 60 minutes for immediate release formulations. So, have you ever thought or you had any question in your mind whenever you are seeing the dissolution results or whenever you are performing the dissolution for immediate release type of formulations? Mainly, the dissolution testing run time is 60 minutes, and in this video we will see why the 60-minute time is there. Also we will see how this time is decided and from where this terminology came into the picture. See, the immediate release formulations are those in which there is no holding of API from release, or there is no modification, or there is no alteration for the release of the API from the formulation. Oral formulations are generally designed with immediate release type of design, delayed release, that is also known as gastro-resistant or enteric coating type of design, and extended, sustained or prolonged release type. So based on this, the release profile is done. The example of formulations are tablets, capsules, pellets are there, granules are there, and suspensions and solutions. So these are mainly the type of formulations for oral administration. Many of the formulations are available as IR type of formulations in the form of tablet, capsules, granules, pellets, or solution or suspension. Sometimes the formulation is made as powder formulation, and that is to be dissolved or suspended into the water, and then it is taken. So that is also a IR type of formulation. See, for oral immediate release type of formulation, the dissolution testing is run for 60 minutes. Sometimes for some of the formulations, it may go up to 120 minutes. That is from 1 hour to 2 hours. That is based on to the API BCS class, the formulation design, the solubility of the API, and the sink conditions. If API is slowly dissolving, that time also you will need a longer dissolution run time. But if API is highly soluble and if the formulation is IR type, then you will not need more time to dissolve that drug. The drug release time and the gastric emptying time are related to each other and thus related to the dissolution run time, and it is also related to Q point of the dissolution testing. So now the gastric emptying time is the key factor to decide the dissolution run time. If you are taking a immediate release type of tablet formulation with a DT of around 5 to 6-7 minutes, so it will not take much more time to get dissolved or to get disintegrated and release the API in the GI tract. Mostly the drug will be released or the drug will be dissolved in the stomach environment, and then the stomach will empty its content into intestine. The time required for this emptying is the gastric emptying time. Now the drug release will depend on to the disintegration time and the dissolution time, that is the time required to dissolve or to release the complete API. Generally the 95% release or above 95% drug dissolution is considered as a complete release. That is 95% of the label claim. Now see, the gastric emptying time is the time required or the time taken, or it is the time in which the stomach content is emptied into the intestine. See, the drugs are absorbed from the intestine and not from the stomach. Many of the drug or most of the drugs are absorbed from the intestine. So you take the tablet, it get disintegrated and dissolved in the stomach environment, and then that solution content is emptied into the intestine. So from intestine it will get absorbed. Most of the drugs are absorbed from the intestine. Thus, if the dissolution takes place in the stomach, then the drug solution is emptied into intestine and it is available for the absorption. So this is the general understanding and general science. The gastric emptying time is around 30 minutes to 2 hours, and that's why it is related to the dissolution time. You might have encountered the situation in which the IR formulation shows 100% release in 5 minutes, sometime in 10 minutes, sometime in 15 minutes, sometime in 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour. So based on to the formulation design, composition, API solubility and BCS class, the dissolution takes place. The dissolution time is also related to the dose. If the dose is high, those formulations may take little bit more time to get completely dissolved. Gastric emptying time depends also onto the fasted state, fed state, and also onto the physiology. Some people may have a gastric emptying time normal in the range of 30 minutes to 1 hour. Some may be having higher gastric emptying time. There is a condition called as gastroparesis in which the gastric emptying time is different for different individuals. The dissolution to get completed may take time from 5 minutes to 2 hours based on to the formulation. The dissolution testing for IR formulations containing highly soluble APIs belonging to BCS class 1 or 3 is performed generally in 0.1 normal HCl to mimic the stomach conditions or stomach pH, and generally the IR formulations which contain highly soluble drug substances are dissolved or release the drug within 15 minutes or within 30 minutes. Other medias than the 0.1 normal HCl are also can be used depending on to the drug stability in that media and the sink conditions. If the dissolution is above 85% or if the percent drug dissolved is 85% or above within 15 minutes, then it can be concluded that the dissolution is completed before the GI emptying time and thus the drug is available in the solution form. Generally, the gastric emptying time is considered as from 30 minutes to 2 hours. And if the dissolution is above 85% within or at 15 minutes, then it is the quick release type of formulation. You can say that the Q point specification for such type of formulations is given as not less than 80% Q in 15 minutes. That will become 85% for S1 stage and 80% in the S2 stage for IR type of formulations. Dissolution above 85% in 15 minutes. Then the dissolution is quick and the drug is fully bioavailable or ready for absorption. That means the drug is released completely in the stomach and it is available in solution form for the absorption through the intestine. Thus, F2 calculation are not required for demonstrating the dissolution similarity. If you remember the dissolution similarity F1 F2 criteria, you may understood that the 15 minutes and above 85% drug release is there, then the F2 calculation is not necessary. Q point not less than 80% in 30 minutes or above that uh, can be given based on to the API solubility, BCS class, and the formulation design. If the IR formulation contains BCS class 2 or BCS class 4 API, that time longer dissolution time can be taken. Thus, generally for most of the IR formulation, the dissolution testing is done for 60 minutes. For some of the formulations, it may go up to 90 minutes or it may go up to 120 minutes. Dissolution testing for delayed release type of formulations is divided into two parts, that is acid phase and buffer phase. For acid stage, it is 60 minutes or 120 minutes, and for buffer phase, it is 60 minutes. IR formulations containing polymers for solubility enhancement, like the formulations which are based on to the amorphous solid dispersion technology, may have time of 120 minutes or above to get completely dissolved or to release the drug, and that may be because of the higher amount of polymer present in those type of formulations. Then extended release, sustained release, prolonged release formulations are having the release for several hours, because that is the requirement for these modified release type of formulations, that these release the drug at specific time intervals. So this is regarding the dissolution runtime. Generally for IR formulations, dissolution is run for 60 minutes. In the research phase, in the research and development phase, the profiling is done considering the 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and 60-minute time points. And in the QC testing, the Q point, that is the single point dissolution, is done. For multimedia dissolution testing, generally the profiling is done. So based on to the formulation design and the BCS class and solubility of API, generally most of the IR formulations dissolution is done for 60 minutes, and this is the logic behind performing dissolution test with the 60-minute runtime for IR formulations. I hope you might have got good understanding out of this video. Thank you for watching the video, and please share these videos with your friends and colleagues. Thank you.